Parents on Reddit, what was your I raised an idiot moment? We need to leave. Sent him to put on socks. Waited more than enough. Go find him. He's in his room, wearing only underwear, playing with Legos. He can't remember what I sent him after. Definitely not an idiot, but I love this story about my kid. I used to pay the guy who took care of the yard for me by writing a check, putting it in a baggie, and sticking it under the mat. One weekend I was on the phone while writing the check, so I asked my son to put the check in the baggie under the mat for me. I went on with the conversation and forgot about it. A few days later, the guy who takes care of the lawn calls me up and says he looked everywhere but can't find the check. While we are talking, I open the door and lift up the mat, and no check. He says, "You are really great customers," so I was surprised that the check wasn't there. I was surprised too. I look around, behind bushes, under a decoration, no check. Then, I try to think like my son. I look under the mat inside the front door, and there's the check. We still laugh about it. My son came to our house to visit. He didn't live with us. We weren't home, but we on our way home, so he let himself in. We walk in, and he's freaking out about breaking our newly adopted cat or something to that effect. I asked him what was she doing. She looked fine to me. He said she was vibrating when she sat on his lap. This is where he learned about cats purring. He hadn't been around a lot of cats, so I don't know. My brother couldn't remember the proper name for shoes, so he called them foot houses. Mum confirmed that day that at least one of her teenage children was a bit doughy up top. A couple of weeks ago, our chihuahua was horny and trying to bone his sister. I said to husband that the dog reminded me of a frustrated teen lad and he needs a cold shower. 20 minutes later, 17 years old walks in holding a distraught and dripping dog wrapped in a towel. He'd overheard the conversation and literally put him in a cold shower in March in the UK. I swear to God, raising this kid is like painting by numbers, and every so often he goes dramatically over the lines. When my oldest was 11, I was letting him stay up with me and my roommate. He's from my first marriage. I hadn't met my wife yet and was still a messy bachelor with a kid. So, he's 11, right? Need to be clear about this. He's 11. We are watching Colbert Report and Steven says something happening in Congress, politics, whatever, is as likely as writing legislation with Santa Claus, the Tooth Fairy, or the Easter Bunny. I chuckle at the dumb joke, only half paying attention. My kid sits up and says, "Wait. Dad? What did he just say? What was? Can you explain that?" I'm thinking maybe he's confused about the politics, so I say these two powerful politicians aren't getting along. He says yeah, no, right, okay, so what else did he say again? By this point my roommate, who had been pretty much staring at his laptop, ignoring the TV and the two of us, starts watching us closely. So I say yeah, so that's as unlikely as meeting Santa Claus, yeah. Yeah, or the Tooth Fairy, yeah. Right. Or the Easter Bunny, what? My roommate lets out one small chuckle. I'm staring at him, a bit dumbfounded. Finally I ask, "Buddy, did you still, think there was a rabbit who snuck into the house and hid eggs?" My roommate starts snickering. I'm just staring with a bewildered look. Kiddo is slumping down into the couch, angry teardrops welling up in his eyes. I don't know if he was embarrassed, mad at my roommate for laughing, or pissed off because he learned the Easter Bunny wasn't real in such a shitty way. He already informed me that he knew Santa Claus was just the parents about, I don't know, 4 years earlier. So I thought we were cool. As I tucked him in that night, he explained, "I just figured he stopped coming because I'm too old." My dad's moment was when I made him drive around with me because my car had been making a thunk noise every time I made a turn. After 15 minutes he announced it was the baseball bat in my trunk rolling around. not a parent, but when I was 14 I thought the smell of gasoline was the same smell as natural gas, so I called up the gas department to check it out. They said it smelled like gasoline, not natural gas, and that's where I knew I was stupid. However, they checked out the house anyways and there was a small gas leak in the basement that required a $3,000 replacement of a water boiler. My 14 years old son went into a dressing room to try on 5 pairs of pants. After waiting 15 minutes and yelling twice into the men's dressing room to see if it was okay, he admitted he could find the shorts he had worn in. He gave me 3 pairs of the pants and still couldn't find them. I finally had to go into the store to look. They were balled up in the leg of one of the pair of pants. It was extremely noticeable. He swore he took his shorts off before trying on any of the pants, so he didn't think to look in them. I was speechless. He's in the gifted and talented program in our school district.